everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're continuing with our Algebra Easy SAT math drills. So we're now working on questions 91 up until 105 for today's video. So let me go ahead and share my screen now. So we can continue right away from where we left off. Alright, you should be seeing the PDF. Rest assured, each time I'm doing this, I'm also uploading the updated answer key. So you will have the most recent answer key on the Google Drive that I'm linking down below. And you will also have an option to download the empty worksheets where you can do all of these drills on your own. So hopefully you've already downloaded them. If not, there's the Google link below. So just go ahead and check the description. Okay, let's continue working on Q91. So we have all of these table of values, right? And then we have this equation. So let's go ahead and read the problem. So sometimes it helps to take note of what you're working with, just to know or figure out what type of question this is or what kind of thinking you might want to apply to solve this problem. So a city is planning to build a rock retaining wall, a monument, and a garden in a park. The table above shows 4 rock types that will be considered for use in the project. Also shown for each rock type is its weight per volume in pounds per cubic foot and the cost per pound in dollars. So basically the table shows us all the costs and the cost per pound. You can go ahead and take a look at the table, and then the equation which I've underlined gives the total cost in dollars. So of the rocks used in the project, in terms of the number of cubic feet of limestone, so meaning limestone is W, I'll mark that here, and the number of basalt, Z, is this, right? So meaning this part of the equation, 0.03 times 120W, that's a total cost of what? Limestone, right? Limestone. And then, what else? 0.18, 180Z, that's the total cost spent on basalt. Alright, let's continue. All 4 rock types are used in the project, so keep in mind that both granite and sandstone are also used. And then, which of the following best interprets this value here? So the third value in the equation, 3,385.80, and then equals, we have this amount. So from what we're seeing, we can see that the equation already breaks down the cost of limestone and basalt. So meaning this amount already encompasses the total cost of both two rock types that haven't been covered, which is granite and sandstone. So meaning this value tells us the total cost of granite plus sandstone, making A the correct answer, right? So the cost of basalt and limestone, well, limestone has already been specified for this problem, and then the rest we can just rule out. The cost of basalt needed for the project and the sandstone, because D can be eliminated because we know that all 4 rock types have been used for this project. Everything making sense? Alright, let's continue with question number 92. So now, this time we're working with linear inequalities. So we have this, which of the following ordered pairs XY satisfies 5x minus 3y is less than 4. So we have all these values. What you can do, number 1, is plug and play. For example, 1, 1, this is what you'll do. Plug in x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 1 into the values, and then see if the inequality remains the same, right? So 2 is less than 4, which is correct, right? And then let's continue to 5. What does 2, 5 give us? 10 minus 15 is less than 4. Negative, any negative number is less than a positive number. So this one is also correct. 3, 2, just plug in. 15 minus 6 is less than 4. 9 is less than 4. This one is incorrect. So meaning we only have this. So I believe the question, the original question on the question bank labels each of these as 1, 2, and 3. So we only have 1 and 2. Alright, and let's see how we can use Desmos to our benefit to solve this question quickly. So we have 5x minus 3y is less than 4. There we go. And it automatically graphs the inequality for you. So what do you do next? You take a look, for example, at 1, 1. 1, 1 is here. Since this is 2, we can zoom it in to include 1. 1, 1 is still within the shaded region. Can you see that? Right? Let me just type that. You can also type the points. 1, 1. Okay, I'll click label. This one is just extra. You can just inspect, right? Just observe the graph, but I just want just to label all of the points here, just so that you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So the goal here is to see whether the options that were given lies within the region. So as you can see, 1, 1, and 2, 5 are points within the region, and 3, 2 is already outside. That confirms that only these 2 points satisfies the inequality. So I hope that makes sense. And if you're lazy and not lazy, but if you just want to solve this problem quickly, okay, I've been saying this again and again, Desmos is your friend, okay? So keep this in mind. You can use Desmos right away to solve inequality problems like this. All right. Question number 93. So we will be stopping at question 105. Imagine that. We've come so far. We're almost close to finishing the entire question bank. Question bank's algebra easy. That also means we're now moving on to algebra medium. Hopefully we can cover everything before you take the SAT. But if you just have any questions or you want to skip ahead and you're stuck on a question, let me know. I can create a special video for you, okay? Alright, so let's continue. A dance teacher ordered outfits for students for a dance recital. Outfits for boys cost $26. And outfit for girls costs $35. The dance teacher ordered a total of 28 outfits and spent $881. So B represents the number of outfits for boys. G represents the number of outfits for girls. And then we're just setting up the systems of linear equations. So what you can do is just briefly take a look at the choices. Oh, okay. So this is how they want it set up. So they want the total outfits ordered and the total amount, correct? The choices seem to lean towards that total amount it cost. All right, so total outfit. So how many total outfits did the teacher buy? We have 28. So meaning B plus G is equal to 28 because B represents the number of outfits for boys and G represents the number of outfits for girls. And then now for the total amount, multiply each corresponding variable by the corresponding amount per outfit. So meaning for boys, that's 26B. And then for girls, that will be 35G with the total amount representing to 881. So at this point, all you have to do is to inspect and see which equation matches that. Sometimes the choices will switch around the term, so be careful. Just make sure that the coefficients before each variables are correct, and this makes the correct answer be as the correct answer, right? You can just double check with me. 26b plus 35. Okay, we're good. So that's how you double check, because obviously the trickiest part here is making sure you don't carelessly select the incorrect equation even if you have the right one, because of all these switcheroos that's happening. All right, let's continue with Q94. A clothing store is having a sale on shirts and pants. During the sale, the cost of each shirt is $15 and the cost of each pair of pants is $25. And Jeff can spend at most $120 at the store. And then the variables that we're using is P for pants and S for shirts. Okay, what does at most mean? So I want you to also go back to the previous videos if you still haven't done so. Start with Q1 and you'll get used to all of these at most and at least keywords that we'll definitely encounter in algebra problems and advanced math. So keep this in mind. So at most, it's the cap, right? It's the maximum value that George can spend. Maximum. So it should be less than or equal to a certain amount. So similarly, at least, so that's the bottom cap. So minimum, just to give you a guide, it should be greater than a certain amount or at least equal to that amount, correct? So how do we write the total in terms of S and P? So George bought S shirts, $15 each, so that will be 15S. And then similarly, 25 per pants. And then we're looking at most, so he only gets to spend a maximum of $120. And that is how you set up linear inequalities, okay? So again, at this point, it's just the switcheroo. So be very careful. You might know what to do, but you might select the wrong one. So better check your answer or double check each coefficient, okay? All right, let's continue with Q95. So we have 2n over 5 is equal to 10. I think in the past video, just the past video, so that's question 76 to 91, we've been working with similar questions like this. And as I've been saying, there are two ways to solve this. And I want you to start thinking smartly and start being able to manipulate algebraic expressions as early as now. Take a look at my iSaver screen. I also recommend using Pomodoro timers when you are reviewing, especially when you're reviewing online using digital resources, so you can stretch, walk around, and rest your eyes, okay? I usually follow that if I'm not doing videos like this. All right, let me show you method 1 first. Method 1, well, the goal is to just solve for x, right? I can just multiply both sides by 5, and I end up with 2n is equal to 50. Divide both sides by 2, n is 25. And then how do you find 2n minus 1? So you just plug in the value that you got for n, and that's just 50 minus 1, which is 49. Then here's method 2, and what I encourage you is to start reframing your mathematical mindset to being able to like immediately think, oh, how can I make my life easier whenever I'm solving questions like this? So sometimes it helps to take a step back, right? Because at this point, if you've noticed, once you multiply both sides by 5, you have 2n is equal to 50. You can take a pause and see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for 2n minus 1. So meaning I can just subtract both sides by 1 and I will have the value that I need. So I didn't have to do all these steps, right? And it will still give you the same answer, which is 49. Okay, so I hope that helps. At this point, it might seem easy. You can do everything in your head. But remember, this is 1 out of 3 in terms of level of difficulty. So I really recommend getting used to already strategizing how to manipulate algebraic expressions at this point, so that later on when we're dealing with more difficult problems, it won't be challenging already, okay? And just to quickly exhibit how Desmos can also double check your work for you, all you have to do, I'm just using X because sometimes my Desmos act up. So when I use different variables, so I just enter everything here. And then again, as with everything, the solution to the equation represents the x-intercept. It's the value where y is equal to 0. So when you click on the x-axis, where the graph of the line meets the x-axis, that is the solution, or that is the value of n. So once you have n, just plug in. And I really believe method 2 is the fastest way and the most efficient way to solve this problem. So I'm just giving you everything there, just letting you know how else you can solve one problem. Okay, let's continue. 96. The function f is defined by the equation f of x is equal to 100x plus 2. And then we're looking for the value of f of x when x is equal to 9. Alright, so all you have to do is to plug in and find the value of f of x at x is equal to 9. So just substitute x to 9 and that should give you the correct answer, right? And we can also use Desmos for this. Correct. The reason I'm also continuously using Desmos, even when I already have the answer, is just to show you all the options that you have during the SAT, and I want you not to be intimidated by Desmos and actually feel confident in using them. So that's why I really encourage starting to use Desmos even during your practice test drills or whatever you're doing for your SAT prep. Okay, once you've entered the equation, just click the edit list button and then you will have this table icon and then click create table. Let me zoom that in. Oh, controls. There we go. Click this. It will generate values for you from -2 to 2. But what we're looking for is 9. So just type 9 here and it gives you right away the value without you plugging in. So that also helps you avoid any careless mistakes. And we can confirm that our answer is D, 902. Alright, let's continue with Q97. So a line in the XY plane has a slope of 1, 9 and passes through the point 0, 14. So which equation represents this line? So I want you to, again, this has been thoroughly discussed in the past videos. So that's why I'm always repeating, start with the video where we've been working on question 1 and then slowly reach this point where we're working on question 97 already. In SAT, it's really crucial to know these linear equations. Mx plus b and y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x. We call this the slope-intercept form for a reason. This is the slope and this is the y-intercept. And then this is the point slope form because m represents the slope and then x1 and y1 represents a selected coordinate that the line passes through. So how do you know which equation to use? It depends on what is already given. So let's identify what's given. We have the slope, and again, any value where the x is equal to 0, it represents the y-intercept, which is equal to b. So the best option to use here would be the first equation, because you don't have to manipulate any other, you don't have to do any other steps, basically. So all you have to do is to replace m with 19 and then replace b with 14. And that's it. So we have 19x plus 14. And then if you plug that into Desmos, you could actually see that it passes through 0.14. So just for fun, why don't we do that? I'm not telling you to always double do this during the test, but remember, we're in the easy level. We're doing algebra easy. That's why all these questions are way better off for you to do by hand. But remember, on the actual SAT, the level of difficulty differs, and you might be dealing with more complicated numbers, and that's why I'm already showing you as early as now how to use Desmos when dealing with complicated equations already, okay? So once you graph or plot, enter the equation, you should see the graph and just check the point that we're referring to. We know that the line passes through 0.14, and if it does on the graph, then it tells you that you have the right equation. Alright, let's continue with Q98. So this one doesn't have any choices, so it's the enter your own answer kind of question. So be very careful with questions like this, okay? So Vivian bought party hats and cupcakes for $71. Each package of party hats costs $3 and each cupcake costs $1. If Vivian bought 10 packages of party hats, how many cupcakes did she buy? So your instinct would be working backwards, and that is correct. All you have to do is to figure out if Vivian bought 10 packages of party hats and each party hats cost $3, so she spent $30, right? And then go back to 71, meaning she spent $41 on cupcakes. And then since one cupcake cost $1, that implies she bought 41 cupcakes. So we already answered the question, but for the answer key's sake, let's visualize this. So what do we have? I'm sorry for some, I think it's a fire truck that passed by, hence the siren. Okay, we're all good. If you want to visualize this problem, or if you have trouble understanding what's going on, don't worry. This is what's happening here. You have a cupcake, and then Vivian also bought 3 times 10, which is 30. And then we ended up with a total of $71, right? So meaning everything, all of this make up $71. So for that to be true, this should be 71 minus 30, which is equal to $41. And again, one cupcake is equal to $41. One cupcake is $1. So for this, 41 cupcakes will have to be $41. So that's 41.40. So there are times where you don't even have to write things down if you already know what to do, and that's fine. Just backtrack and double check. How do you double check? 3 times 10, that's a total cost of party hats, and then just add the total amount of cupcakes that Vivian's spent on, and then we have 71. So that confirms we have the right answer. Alright? But sometimes don't overthink things. Like, if you feel like, okay, I know this already, I'm good, then you were probably good. If your intuition's telling you not to double check, probably you don't have to, okay? The graph shows a linear relationship between x and y, which table gives 3 values of x and their corresponding values of y. So whenever you have this, of course, expect table of values for you not to be confused, and make sure that you're selecting the right table, write the ordered pairs, okay? So starting with this one here, and see, They're starting with 0, 1, 2. So let's also do that. 0, 1, 2. So find the value where x is 0. We have this one here. That's 5, negative 5. And then at 1, it's negative 3. And then at 2, negative 2, negative 1. So we're just working backwards, negative 1. So be very careful and observe the choices first before you format your answer, so you don't have to adjust it later on. So we're looking at what again? Negative 5, negative 3, negative 1. So negative 5, negative 3, negative 1. And that makes D the correct answer. Alright. Oh my gosh, can you believe this is already the 100th question? So at this point, if you've been watching my video since Algebra Easy Q1, congratulations! We've just covered 100 questions at this point. Let me just refill my water tumbler, of course. I know you're not surprised, it's also pink. And let me just take a quick break. Maybe you can take a quick break as well. Alright. No cut YouTube videos, right? Okay, so I'm back. Let me just take a sip. For all those watching, comment below what your target SAT scores are and where you are at already. I can give you some pointers. And if you also need additional resources, I have a lot. Feel free to reach out to me. Please don't hesitate to send me an email to titawholovesmath@gmail.com or find me at SAT Math. I have a subreddit. It's SAT Math. It's also in the link below. Just please don't hesitate to reach out wherever you're finding this video. I'm more than happy to send you all those resources, of course, for free. Alright, let's continue. So the table above shows some pairs of values x and y. So which of the equations could represent the relationship between x and y? Okay. So obviously from the choices, we're expecting a linear relationship, right? So unfortunately, we don't have a y-intercept. There's no value of x here that tells us where what the value of y, where x is equal to 0. So what we can use instead is the point slope form. And I'm happy that I get to use this already because I haven't gotten the chance to show you how to apply this quickly in an equation, right? So let's go ahead and work on this. First, we need a slope. So always remember, slope is the change in y. So y goes on top, y over x, and the change in x over the change in x. So if you place the y coordinate of this point first, then the corresponding x coordinate has to go first as well. Always remember that to avoid making a mistake with the slopes sign, okay? And then since this one is placed in this last, then this has to be the last value as well. Always remember that. So you can mix things around, but the order matters. Okay, whichever point you're using first, use the x coordinate first as well. So that gives us 6 over 3, or the slope is just equal to 2. I can actually stop here. Do you know why? Because from this equation, I want you to see the slope here is equal to 3. The slope here is equal to 4, and the slope here is equal to 5. All of this eliminates them as a correct equation or the correct relationship representing x and y, and I can go ahead and select A. Because at this point, I know the slope should be 2, and I don't actually have to use this equation at this point. So you feel like, okay, that makes sense, but I want to double check my work. Okay, what do you think we're doing? Correct. We're going to Desmos and see. Is she correct? Does that make sense? Is my intuition correct? Then you can just go ahead and use Desmos and double check. Again, if you just want table of values in Desmos, click this button, edit list, create table. What Desmos does is create -2 to 2. So you can just modify, enter 3, and then we also need 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then double check. Are these the points that I am seeing? 5, 7, 9, 11. Then you're correct. So meaning we have the right equation. And we can also double check this by just simply inspecting, right? There is also like 2. They all differ by 2. And this side here all differ by 1, right? So slope will always be 2. So we're sure that it is 8. And that's how you, whenever you're feeling doubtful, I know sometimes during practice drills, you know what to do, you're feeling confident because nothing's at stake. And then during exam, the test anxiety creeps in, and this is why I'm showing you how to maximize Desmos, not only to make SAT math easier for you, but also to make you feel extra confident because you know you have a backup tool. If in case you're having you're not sure, you're hesitant about the answer that you have, Desmos is there to assure you that, hey, you're correct. Because I know sometimes you don't need it in a problem, but if you're just feeling the jitters, Desmos is there to also help double check your work, okay? Okay, this seems like something was wrong when it got generated. Let me just double check. One, you can also just find a question ID if you're stuck, and then you have an explanation here. So you actually don't need me. College Board is there with their explanation, but I know sometimes it helps if someone is explaining it to you, right? Okay. So x plus y plus 3y is equal to 85. I'm just rewriting the equation because the one on Desmos is not showing up. Okay. Let me just check my phone quickly. Something's ringing. Oh, okay, it's my alarm. Give me a quick second, because we can schedule later, ma'am. Okay, I'm talking to my therapist, receptionist. Let me just schedule my appointment. I don't want to miss my slot. Okay. Real-time YouTube. I'm so sorry. This happens. Life happens. And then you're 30 and you have a therapist. But please, therapy is good. If you are having extreme test anxiety, I would recommend you talking to your counselor or booking a private therapy if that is accessible to you. I know therapy is expensive, but it really helps to have coping mechanisms to help you go through whatever is making you feel anxious or whatever it is in life. Okay. I'm just paying for my slot. I'm done. Let's continue with math. Okay, we have these two systems of equation and we're solving for y. What is the value of y here? Okay, what might be tempting is immediately do the drill, eliminate, or use substitution. Let y be equal to 20 minus x, or let x be equal to 20 minus x, and so on. That's valid and you can go ahead and do that, but, and this is why I keep telling you, The drills are there not just to help you get used to solving all these questions. It's also there to build your intuition, build your math intuition. Because sometimes, as soon as you get used to solving problems like this, you know what to do just by looking at the equation. For example, take a pause and then you see that x plus y is also here, meaning I can just replace this with 20, correct? And that will make our life a whole lot easier instead of going through the whole steps of doing substitution method and then solving for y later on. So what you can do is simplify this. 3y is equal to 85. And then 3y, subtract 40 from both sides of the equation. So 3y is 45. So y is equal to 15. All right. Let me just write 20 here, because if any of you did not finish this video and you're just looking at the answer key, then at least you're not confused. Okay, how do we use Desmos to solve systems of linear equations? Oh, let me show you. Just type in the equations that you have. So we know x plus y is 20. What else? 2 times x plus y is equal to plus 3y, okay, is equal to 85. There we go. And then again, for systems of linear equations, the intersecting point represents the solution to our equation. So that's 5, 15, meaning x is 5 and y is equal to 15. And we're just looking for y. Hence, we have y is equal to 15, which makes our answer correct. So either approach should be good, okay? All right, let's continue. Question 103. Oh my gosh, we're progressing. So on January 1, 2015, a city's minimum hourly wage was $9.25. It will increase by 0.50 on the first day for the next 5 years. Which of the following functions best models the minimum hourly wage in X years? Okay, I think the values are a little bit mixed up or messed up. Sometimes that happens whenever you export, but you know what? We can't complain. College Board has made this so easy for us. Oh, okay, so we really do have x is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I just wanted to double check if I have all the right values. So we started with 9.25, right? So meaning on the first year, you'll have 0. The year after that, it is the minimum wage, correct? And then the year after that will be 0.50 times 2. This is x is equal to 2. Correct? And then it continues. So in general, we have 9.25 times 0.50 x. So meaning after x years, we're just using 0.50 as a multiplier to determine how much we're adding on the minimum wage. All right. Okay, this one is also, I believe there should be a space here. So this is the equation. Plus y is equal to 15. Okay, let's reverse this. In the previous question, we did Desmos last, and then we worked on this algebraically. Let's do Desmos first, just to switch things around. So try to do this on your own. Open up your Desmos, enter the equation, and then try to figure out the answer on your own, okay? And then if ever you're not seeing any intersection point, just zoom out or zoom in. At some point, you should be able to find the intersecting point. Just click on the graph and then it will lead you to this, right? So we know that the solution is 15. X is 15, Y is negative 45. So meaning the correct answer is C. So sometimes it also helps that you know how to really optimize Desmos. So what can we do algebraically? We already know this. Y is negative 3x. So all you have to do is to substitute this value, so it gives you 15. Either or, whatever approach helps you, makes you feel better, and is easier for you, just go ahead and do that during the test. Either way, it gives you x is equal to 15. Alright, so let's continue. Sorry, I'm just distracted because I'm talking to my, as I mentioned, therapist. Ooh. Okay. Alright, I'm paid. Okay, I have my slot now. Okay, so a white whale was 162 centimeters when it was born and increased at an average of 4.8 centimeter per month for the first 12 months after it was born. Which equation best represents the situation where x is the number of months after the whale was born and y is the length in cm? So x represents the months, y is the length. So meaning the length of the whale is dependent on the number of months after it was born. So we have a white whale was 162 centimeters when it was born. So meaning at first we already have 160 cm. So on the first month you will be adding 4.8 cm, right? So after x months, that will be 4.8 times x. And you can also just double check this by doing what we did in this previous problem. Let me just backtrack. Something like this. Create an example until you reach or understand why we end up with this equation. So we have 4.86. So let's just rearrange because the choices here, we have this option in letter D. Alright. Last question. Oh my god, can you believe it's the last question already for this set? Okay, so we're looking for the value of x. And we're solving equations with denominators. Lucky for you, this is 1 out of 3 level. This is the easy level, hence having a simpler form. But this is not the case all the time for SAT. But what do you do in general? Whenever you're dealing with equations that involve fractions, the goal is to eliminate the fraction, right? It's up to you, but if you're used to using fractions, then good for you. But in general, what we want to do is take out the denominator by multiplying both sides by the LCD. For this case, since 2 is a multiple of 6, I can just use 6, right? Multiply both sides by 6. What does this give us? 3x. Because if you divide 6 by 3 times 1, that's why we have 3x here. 6 times 1, 6. That's just 1. So you have x is equal to 6. Simplify, and that gives us 2x is equal to 6, and then x is equal to 3. Alright, and we can just go ahead and double check, right? The only reason I'm taking the time again to always use Desmos is just to show you what it can do and how it can help you during the test, okay? And I want you to be very familiar with it, so much so that you're not intimidated by Desmos. Okay, again, whenever you're solving for an equation solution, all you have to do is to look for the x-intercept and it's the point where the graph crosses the x-axis, or when y is equal to 0, and that's when x is equal to 3. Confirming what we have here, x is indeed equal to 3. Alright, there we go. So we're actually done with today's video, and I promise to upload as soon as I can once I finish answering the next 15 questions. Let me just stop sharing my screen. Alright, so I hope this once again has helped you, or the past walkthroughs have been helpful for you. And I'll see you on the next one. This is Shar again. Please, if you enjoy or if you love this content, please give this video some love. There's the subscribe button, the like button, and then let me know how else I can help you. And again, I'm reminding you, if you need more resources, both English and math, I have a lot of free stuff. I can just go ahead and send them to you, okay? Don't hesitate to reach out. This is Shar once again. I'll see you in the next one.